Let's get start a demo first of gRPC with clean architecture. So I am just creating a one gRPC service using that clean architecture. And here, whatever feature actually just using like booking, hotel and room, right? So that complete application, chief hotel application service actually we have to create in our gRPC using that clean architecture. So this is also in build actually build that a REST API, right? And also, if you want to see you over here, this is our services running over here. So if you run this service, so by default it is providing, okay, if you want to communicate this service, gRPC service, so you have to record that client. So both way actually you can just use it like using that client and also using that HTTP over that HTTP. So everything actually we have to implement. And one more thing also just implement that now over here that reflection. So if you using any postman and all, if you just adding your service, whatever localhost service, so it will automatically got populated all that service. So that is called actually reflection. So everything we will implement in here. And before that also we'll show you how it look like suppose for example how is working that HTTP client using the REST principle in the gRPC service. So let me get it all that hotel and whatever the hotels in nearby me, so all that hotel it will returning, right? And if you see that logged, so also it is returning all that queries over here. And if you want to just create a one another hotel, so and so I am able to create that hotel as well, like for example hotel paradise, right? Paradise. And then address whatever that UK or whatever address, just sample perspective, and just create it. Now see, it just created. And once I get again to call that service, I'm just getting that new hotels, which is ID 6. And also I can get that hotel by using that ID. So let me put it that ID, for example 6. I will get that hotel ID with this hotel information, right? And then not only this, we can just delete as well hotel, we can update hotel, right? And once you just create a new hotel, also you can just create a new room, particular hotel. For example, now see, this is just post of room hotel, like for example over here. So hotel ID is whatever hotel is created, it is a new hotel created with 6 ID, right? And capacity of this hotel, this room, right? So for example 3, and then price would be for example 300, right? And once I execute, you will able to see this hotel room is created in room number 6. And once you get this hotel, for example, also we can search the hotel by the name, for example hotel. And once I execute the search, you will get all that hotels, like for example this is the recently we created hotel with this room, right? Room number 6. And this is as of now it is available, right? And also it's a left days also available over here, like how many days are left for this hotel room, right? So now it is available. So now let me book as well this hotel, how we can book this hotel room, right? So there is another service which is called that booking. So for example, see, this is that booking post request, right? And once I create, and then room ID, I just specify the room ID, room number 6, and then checking date, time and all. But yeah, I will show you for this endpoint in our postman. So go to that postman and go to here, and let me create a booking, right? So once you go to here, just specify whatever your endpoint, and then choose that create booking, right? So choose that create booking, and here you can just add your information. For example, what is the room ID is 6, and then checking date and checking time and checking time out, right? So this is just required, just time is temp format, right? You can't actually add directly on that date and time, but yeah, you have to specify that current date and time, right? So let me bring back that current date time in this timestamp. So what you need to do for that, go to that timestamp, right? Go to the timestamp format, and here you can get that timestamp, right? So what is that today's date? Today's date is 22/6. So let me create, or let me get it that timestamp. So this is that timestamp for now, for today's date. So go back to here, edit the timestamp, and let me book this room for the next 2 days, right? So let me change to book this ID to 22 to 26, right? And then again just generated that timestamp, copy this timestamp, go back and here and just simply inbox. So once you inbox, it should be create your booking. So yeah, that booking is created, it is success. And once you go back to your room availability, so go back here, just check that room availability again for that hotel paradise, right? So go back to that endpoint. So where is my endpoint? So this is my endpoint, right? So let me quickly execute. Yeah, this is that endpoint. Let me quickly execute, and you are able to see this is hotel paradise which is just recently created, and now room is available true. That means room is not available, next 4 days will be available, right? So this complete cheap hotel functionality will be created in our using existing clean architecture with gRPC, right? So that we will implement here. So before implementation, I'm especially recommend, I already actually created, go to my .NET Real World example channel, right? And this is that, right? First, actually, you have to go to this one, which I just created, clean architecture skeleton. So this is very helpful for you if you knew like what is that clean architecture and all. So this is completely for you. You can just check out and learn like how we can create a clean architecture. It is from that scratch, right? You can learn it, and then once you complete, especially one more recommendation over here. So how that clean architecture, existing clean architecture, we can use in your any project. Like I using that web API, but it is just rebuild for that any other domain, right? For example, in previously I just create a clean architecture with our blog uh, block system, right? But yeah, after that how we can use it, that clean architecture in our any application, so that I actually explain over here. So also you can recommend, I'll just recommend you can go to this one, because I will take same example over here, and we will actually remove that web API to our gRPC, right? So you can take it over here. And also if you go to my playlist, so there's a one more playlist I just created for that clean architecture step by step all that session. So you can check out that also. So this guy, right? So this is a complete series of that clean architecture step by step. There is a 17th video, so you can go through if it is new, right? So let's go to implementation. So yeah, I will take this same example which already I just post or mention in our that all that videos which I recommend, right? And you can get it from my GitHub link, so you can take it over here. So let me quickly open this one. So now it is look like this, right? Our clean architecture, we have a core, we have an infrastructure, we have presentation layer, and we have test, right? So if you expand, for example, let's see, I'm just expand, and this has all that core has a application layer and domain layer, then infrastructure as a infrastructure, and UI as a baby UI. So this baby UI we will replace to our gRPC. So that we have to achieve over here. So what I need to do first let me show you how is actually look like with our existing clean architecture with web API, how is look like. So let me change and set it to our web API user interface as a started project. So just started on that project and run it, and see it is running with this web API, but it is completely same feature, right? Whatever booking hotel and everything, right? So same feature we will use in our gRPC, right? So how we can do that, that is actually point. So let me close it, and simply uh, first I will remove that web API because we don't require that guy. We will implement our from the test case our gRPC service. So first let me remove this guy, right? So once you remove, uh, except that web API application user interface, apart from everything we have to require, we have to nothing do any changes in our existing clean architecture and the skeleton, right? So that's we have to use the same skeleton how we can use in our multiple applications. So that's why I just created this skeleton. So what I need to do, simply let me create a new project over here in the presentation layer and choose your gRPC ASP.NET Core gRPC service, right? So if you have a recently template over here, you can choose it, but yeah, you can just search over here also gRPC. Once you search, you are able to see this is the template. So this is the template. You have to choose this guy, next, and then make it your name, right? So I will just make it over here as a cheap hotel, right? And dot gRPC service, and just whatever your location, you can just put it the location. So as of now, this is a good location. So next, and rest of setting, whatever setting, we will keep it. We don't need to change anything, just create it. So now I just created my gRPC service, right? So quickly let me start over here. Let me just set it on the starting project, right? And see how is that now default service actually working, right? So let me run it. So once you run, now see it is running over here, this listening part, right? And once you go to that browser, it will try to run. It will asking, okay, we require to communication with that, and also it does not have any open API and all, right? So that all everything we will implement, right? So what I need to do, let me close and let me start one by one implementation. So first of all, what I need to do, I have to just add two reference over here. What is that reference? First I have to add that application, that is a business logic reference, and that is the outer layer, the infrastructure layer. So that we have to add that reference in this here. So let me quickly add the reference and the gRPC project, add over here this guy and this guy, this two reference we have to add it over here, right? And then quickly okay, and then save it, right? This is one thing you have to do first. Now second thing, we have to record some packages, right? So what are these packages? One packages is required, that reflection and all. So let me right click on that, go to that packages, and in here go to that browser, and I will look for one package that is called gRPC reflection. So let me look for that package. So this is that package name, this is that package name. You have to look, and then you have to just install this guy. So this is for reflection. I already covered some of the session. You can go to my gRPC playlist, you will get that how, what is that and all, if it is new. So you can get it. Okay, so now reflection is added. Now second package also I have to required. So all that packages, let me required package, let me install first, so that we don't record anything else. So now another things actually we have to require for that JSON transcoding, right? So this is just converting your uh, API, REST API things, right? Whatever JSON format, it will returning to our response. So that why actually we have to use this package. So don't worry about that, we'll implement also, that definitely will get idea. So install that guy also. So this is second package also we required. Now third package we required actually Swagger, right? So we have also a gRPC provider as a Swagger open API. So this is that package name, gRPC Swagger. So let me install for that, so that we can allow to that REST API to our gRPC. So that's why we have to adding this open API. So yeah, this three package we required. So once you done this package, now we have to go to start our implementation, right? So what you need to do first, let me create a new service in this protos file, right? So what are the service we have to require? We have to require this three feature we have to trying to implement, right? So what is the feature? If you go to that feature in this application layer, we have a booking, we have booking, we have hotel, we have room, right? So this three service we have to implement in this gRPC service, right? So let me quickly create those service. So let me create first, then hotel feature, right? So because this is creation hotel, then create room, and then actually booking, right? So that flow we have to follow over here. So first let me create a hotel feature. So create, go to that new item, go to that, select that proto file, you know proto template over here, and once you go over here, let me create a hotel. So hotel, make it a small, add it. So now your hotel proto file has been created. Make it that package name, so that it is a hotel, and then make it over here, and also remove that folder name. So that is fine, right? So once you created, now we have to require some service. What are the service inside this hotel, right? So my first service would be, let me create a service, all that service. That service name also I can make it to hoteler, right? And then just create it in this service. What are the service we have to require? So first service would be required, that get hotels, and it is expecting that empty uh, parameter and get that response, whatever the response we want, right? So for this empty parameter, we have to record that Proto empty package, right? So what is that package? That package name is, we have to import over here. So that is my package name, right? So Google Protocol empty proto, right? This is that one. And another package also we required actually, that wrapper and protos, right? So let me quickly import this two package which will required. So let me import it, and then we are good to go. So now second feature would be over here, means second method of that here, that is get hotel by id. And also it is a request. Don't worry about that, as of now I have not created that get request, but yeah, I will just create it. But yeah, it is just response written by that get id for the response, right? So it is simple. Let me terminate for this service. So whatever method we have to send a request and get the response, we have to specify over here as a gRPC, right? And then another one is that create hotel, right? So again same things, get request and response. And then another service would be over here, method. So that like is that hotel update, right? So let me create that one also. And then final, the last service or last method of this service, that would be delete one. So that's all we have just created, right? These are actually hotel feature. In this hotel feature we can do, like we can create a hotel, we can get that hotel, we can create a hotel, we can get all that hotels, update the hotels and delete hotels, right? So once you've just created on all, we have to just create all that request and response as well. So let me quickly create a request and response. So first request and a response we will create for that get hotels. So here for get hotels, actually we require that hotel DTO, right? So let me create as a common hotel DTO, that bit will be held for all that other entities as well. So let me create that common request, right, which is the hotel DTO, and which is we have a three property, ID, name and address, right? And once you create it, now we are good to go to create our request and response of that get hotels, right? So request we have nothing, we pass that empty. But yeah, this guy we have to just create it, right? So how we can create it is very simple, like this way, message, like just create a message and get hotel response, which is that, and then pass it to, okay, whatever hotel DTO, it is a repeatable, means it is a list of hotel DTOs we will return. So that we have added over here. And also we have to pass some three field, extra field, which is written our clean architecture, like it is success or not, what is the message, and what is the validations error, right? So there are three things actually we additionally we have to add in this response. So once is done for this section, now moving to that this section, get hotels by the ID. Okay, so let me create get hotels by ID, that request. So let me quickly create that section over here, and here I just created that request. So what would be the request is simply create a request and is expecting only ID, because as a hotel by ID expecting the ID, so that ID actually I'm just passing over here as a request. And then response we required as a single entities of the DTO, right? So that how we can create it is again very simple, similar type of that response, that get hotel by ID, but here simply just returning a DTO object, which is just common DTO, and pass it over here. And then rest the three no common property is common, right, which is success, message and all. So that is done. Now we have to moving forward that next one, create hotel, right? So let me show you that create hotel. Okay, so this is that section, we have to just create a create hotel. So let me create over here. So this is a create hotel request and response. Again, the create hotel be expecting that a DTO of that at that hotel DTO, right? So create hotel expecting that hotel DTO, whatever ID, name and parameter. ID is optional, right? And then what is that response? Response would be again just simply written as a hotel ID. What is that new hotel actually just created? The hotel ID with this the three common property, right? So this is also done. Now moving forward to that hotel update, right? So let me create the hotel update request and response again. So in this case, in this hotel update, we required the details again, because which hotel with this payload we have to update, right? So simply I again use that hotel DTO, which is expecting ID, name and address. So based on this we have to trying to update. And what would be the response for that? It is simply response of that, okay, it is success and fail. So we don't additional parameter, but yeah, we have required this common three properties, right? Hotel response. And then final one, we have to implement request and response for that delete hotel. So go to that here and just create another section for the delete hotels. And here we have to just expecting that ID. Based on the hotel ID we have to able to delete, right? So let me create a delete response request and delete response, right? This is a common things actually, if you aware that gRPC. So this is a common thing. So now our service, actually that proto file has been completed. Now we have to implement all that uh, that method, right? So this is just a declaration. This is a proto file. We have to declare whatever method, right? So we have to implement as well. So where I have to just implement, I have to implement inside this service folder in this gRPC project, right? So for example, see, is the by default they create and greet and then greet service. So similar, I have to just create it over here as a that service. So let me create quickly that service. The name would be over here that hotel service, right? So quickly go to that class and here let me create that hotel service, and this is make it a hotel service and just create it over here. Once you create over here, that proto file actually compile in your local, right? And then you will get that base class of that proto file, so that you have to inherit in this service. So here once you create this service, you have to just call that hotler service, right? So hotler, right? So it is not appearing, so that means some issue over here, right? So something we have missed, right? So what we have missed, so let me show you. So how we can check it? Okay, whatever we have service created, that proto file, that is generated or not, right? So that you can check. Go to that that for project, right click on that and go to that open file and floor explorer. Go to that object, go to debug .NET 8, and this is that proto file actually generated, right? So go to that protos file and here see whatever default service, that is all already that is all over here, but whatever newly I just created, that is not appearing over here. That is actually compile file, right? So that means we have to miss some steps, right? So what are the missing steps? So if you go to that project, double click on that project, now see whatever service I just added, means by default they will just add it include item over here. So that actually we have missed. So what I need to do for that, automatic compile your proto file, you have to just edit that file name over here as a proto compilation, right? So let me quickly copy this guy and change it to that name, for example hotel, right? Because my proto file name is hotel.proto, right? So same, make it same name which the folder name, and save it and build it. Now once it's build complete, now let me check again. Go to that folder again, go to that open explorer and go to object, go to debug, nest and proto. Now see that a hotel service actually generated. Now we are good to go to inherit this auto generated file in our service. So go to that hotel service and here simply get that service, right? So what is that service name? It is just hoteler. So see, I'm getting that service from that hotel dot hoteler and dot that base hotel base, right? So this is that service name. You can find it also that auto generated file. Inside that auto generated file you will get that name, and then just create a constructor over here. Why I'll just create it, I'll tell you, but yeah. So now we are good to go to create all that service, right? So how we can get all that service? Simply just do override, and in this override, see, whatever proto file you just created all that service over here, right? So we have to just implement one by one. So let me implement first that get hotels, right? So where is my get hotel? This is that get hotels, and once you tab, you are able to see this method, right? And this method, just nothing, whatever request and response we have, and then here we have to just start to implementation, right? So now comes in the picture, integrate your clean architecture feature, right? So see, our clean architecture is application has all the feature, how we can call and use it, all that feature over here in this service. So that's why I just created that constructor, and here I will use that sender, means iSender, and in this iSender just create an instance and create a initialize in this constructor, right? This is a mediator R, right? So mediator R just provide that iSender, and once I mediator R, using that mediator R in our gRPC service, we will connect in our clean architecture, right? So this is the rules. So simply I have to just calling this guy, right? For example, using that iSender, let me show you quickly over here. iSender dot send method, and inside this send method new whatever your query, right? So get hotel query. So this is my get hotel queries which I already created in this feature, and call it to this guy, and that's it. And then we can store our response over here, like for example a result, right? Or whatever things. As of now, just leave it over here and make it to await, right? So like that we can coordinate our clean architecture in a gRPC simply using that mediator R, and it will just calling this feature, this application layer. It will call to our infrastructure layer, get the result and get back to over here, and we can use in our gRPC. So like that actually we will implement. I already explained in web API similar things we have to do that, but yeah, it is little tweaks for that gRPC. So that actually that's why I just created this session. So what I need to do, simply rest of things we will implement. So quickly let me start to implementation. So what I need to do first actually let me create a response, whatever response I want to return in this method. So let me create a response first on that same response, right? So once it's done, now I have to call that iSender, and that call that get queries, hotel queries, and make it as a, like for example this guy, right? Hotel response, whatever that hotel response, I'm get it from here. And then what I need to do, I will get a response from here, then I have to just convert it, because this response it will returning as a that get hotel response, right? So this is another DTO which is application layer returning, but in gRPC has another DTO, right? So that conversion you have to do that. So many way actually you can do that, like using that auto mapper you can do that. But yeah, I will over here I will make it simply I will use as a normal conversion, like using that hotel response, using that hotels, and using that select query, and whatever my gRPC service hotel DTO, I just convert it over here and using as a result, right? And rest of things we will keep it over here. For example, I will add that hotel response DTO as a result, whatever a collection of that result, I just added this response.dto, and rest success and message also we will binding over here. This is part of conversion, you can just convert whatever your preference, you can use it. Yeah, once it's done, now simply what I need to do, I just whatever validation message also we are getting that response, right? So that also we have to just convert it and add it to our response.validated errors, right? So like this we can do that, and then finally we have to return back to our response. So that's it, right? So this is good. Good to go to my implementation, right? So this is simple. Now I'll show you how we can I'll just run this application and see, like whatever implementation integration, it is working fine or not, right? So before that, actually I missed something, which is actually I use that reflection, right? No, but no, that is fine. Actually, I'll show you why I require that. So that's why I just keep it. uh, I have not implement, right? So let me run it, right, and see what are the challenges and what is the issues still we have to fix it, right? So I hope it is running. Yeah, it is running perfectly. That is fine. So let me copy this guy, right, and open a postman, and just create a new service. For example, gRPC service. Open a new gRPC service and paste it over here and make it that HTTP. And here, see, once I add it over here, there's a no method and all populated over here, right? So that's why we have add that reflection. So but we have not configured properly. We add that packages of the reflection, but we have not now implement. So let me quickly implement, because we missed something. So go to that now our here. I already explained actually what is the reflection and what is at transcoding and all. You can go to visit my channel. I just explaining over here, but yeah, again I'll show you. Go to that program.cs file. Here I have to just add that package. For example, that extension method services dot add gRPC reflection. So this is one configuration we have to do inside this builder, and after that we have to map that one in this app section, right? After builder build section, we have to add that guy. So what we have to do that, so use that app dot map, yeah, map gRPC service reflection, and that is done, right? So once it's done, let me, so what I need to do, simply go to that application dot json file. Here I will add my connection string, right? So let me quickly edit my connection string at the end over here, and this is my connection string, and whatever our db name and all, I just add it over here, and you can just use your one, right? And simply stop that, run it application, and it is running. Yeah, it is running. Now go to that here and just edit over here and see, using the reflection. See, once you reflect, you are getting this whatever default service, right? You are getting over here, but whatever new service I just created, that is not appearing. Why? Because I have to mention whatever new service, right? So I just created new service also, that is not map in our application. So that also I have to just map similar kind of things over here. So right, so let me quickly map that one also. Map uh reflection, right? Or not reflection, map dot map grpc service, and inside here, what is my service name? It is that hotel service, and just add it over here and save it and run it. Now we are good to go to see that one, right? So let me quickly over here and change to reflection. Go to here. Okay, let me see, it is running. Yeah, it is running. So quickly refresh. So once you refresh, now see, whatever new method I just exposed, every method was over here, right? So this method, okay, get hotels, I just implement. So I will just without empty, it is empty, right? And once I invoke, now see, I'm get, okay, still we are getting error. See, it is saying unknown error. So what is that error? Let me show you and we can fix it. See, it is clearly saying we are trying to use mediator R, but we have not resolved, right? Because see, it is depend, it is we have to use in our gRPC service, but we have to not resolve, right? So already we have resolved. If you see, go back to your application, right? In this clean architecture, go to that application layer. We have to resolve in this extension. In here, we have resolved our dependency of mediator R, right? So see, this is mediator R. We have to resolve all the dependency of that mediator R, but we have to not configure, we have to not actually call this in our UI layer, right? So that we have to call it in our UI layer, right? So go to that program.cs file. We have to register those extension method simply over here. And what is that method and name and all, right? So that extension method, my first extension method over here, that builder dot service is dot that add application layer service. So this is one method for that application layer, and then another extension method for infrastructure layer, that also we have to do that services dot add, that name would be infra, yeah, this guy. But in this infra we have to pass that builder dot configuration, right? So let me add that builder dot configurations, right? So these things we have to just pass it over here. That's it, right? These two things also you have to register, because I already just create a extension method in our clean architecture. So you have to use whatever your client app, right? So you have to use. Now stop that or run it and see. Now I'm expecting that correct result now. So go to back, just refresh, and once you refresh, let me invoke. Now we are getting that all the hotels information, right? So this is perfectly fine. Now we have to implement others as well. Now see, if you see the logs, we are get execute that query and when getting that result. So this is how actually we have to integrate all other feature as well. So let me quickly stop and let me implement one by one others. So now what I will do, go to that hotelier service. Rest of things we have to just implement quickly. So quickly just override that get by hotel ID, and here I will just implement quickly for all other service, and then we will run and see how it look like, right? So what I need to do, simply again just create a response, and then we have to call that features I using that I sender, make it that await, using that passing that ID, and then we can get that hotel response. And then if it is hotel response, if not null, then we have to bind that data just for ship site. So using that, we have to just convert it to our response, to our gRPC response, right? And then we just set it others property as we have done previously, success and message, and also bind that now validations message. So that validation message also bind in and simply response, like. So this is way we have to quickly implement get by hotel ID, and rest also we will implement quickly. So let me quickly implement other. So let me create that hotel one, right? And in hotel one also it is similar things. Let me quickly adding that response, right? And then we have to just call this method, right, sender, and call that create command. And inside this create command we have to just again convert it to our DTO, right? So let me quickly convert it the DTO using that here, using that create hotel. This is a parameter just converting and just passing address and name. You can use that in auto mapper as well. So but yeah, as of now I will use this in a simple one. And then once I get that response, I just set it again that hotel ID as a whatever that hotel ID I just getting from that response, I storing over here. And rest of property like success and all we will add it over here, and finally it will response, right? So that's also done for this create hotel. Now we will implement next one. So next one is that override, and using that which one, yeah, update one also. So let me quickly create that this guy. Similar fashion we have to do that, use this guy and create a response. Then again we have to create to call that sender to update hotel, and then we have to convert again to that DTO, because there's a request expecting that application DTO. But yeah, we have to passing to application DTO, gRPC DTO to application DTO, and then simply make it to await. And then once I done, then I just have to add that request success, then also be that added that message and validations. So see, this is storing the success message and validations as well. So once it's done, simply it is return, right? So let me return as a response that is done for this guy also. Okay, which something we missed. So let me quickly add it over here as a update result, which I just removed that. Yeah, so that is done. Now this is also completed for update total. Now finally we have to create override override the delete one, right? So let me quickly implement that one. It is similar kind of things. Simply just remove this guy, create a response, and then create a response, call it that your sender to delete command, and make it to async method, right? And then here just all that property, whatever property we are getting that response, we have to set it over here like success message and validation errors, right? And then simply return to response. So this is done, right? All that method has been completed from here, like get by id and all. So let me quickly check all that functionality, it is working. If it is an issue, we will fix it. So let me run it again, and yeah, it is running. Go to that postman and refresh. So once you refresh, check it over here. But yeah, we have to record some parameter over here, because in here we required that id, I guess. Yeah, we have to pass that id. And once you id, for example, as of now, let me pass it to 1, right? And just invoke. Once you invoke, now see id greater than 0, right? That means its id is not matched. So id, I guess I just pass it that camel case. So let me pass it that. Now see, once I am getting that response, right? So rest of things will work. But yeah, what I will do, instead of using that postman, I will use that open api, right? Using that swagger. So how we can edit that guy, right? So let me close that, quickly config that one, so that we don't need to worry about that, all that request and response. So that will taken care in our swagger api. So for this I already added that package, but we have to do some configurations, right? So what configuration we have to do that? First I have to add that transcoding, right? So the transcoding we have to adding over here in this gRPC service. So where is my gRPC service? Here. First I just add that add transcoding json. So it will convert your json format. So that's why I'm using this guy. And then once you're done, we have to add some configuration of you know uh, that that guy, right? So swagger ui. So how we can do that? Simply after this this guy here, I'll just add this add gRPC swagger, right? Using that extension method, and then configure something, for example this. It's simply using the swagger gen, using the lambda expression, whatever version you just specify, and using that open api model info, and passes your title and version. So this is that service you have to just add it. And also you have to use the middleware configuration. So go to down, and here you have to after build, right? So after build you can just use that map your middleware, and using that middleware you can just use that swagger ui. So add that swagger ai and pass it that whatever swagger ui, right? So save it, build it, and let me check it, run it. Now it is running. But once you copy this url and go to that any browser, go to that browser and hit enter. Now see, it is perfectly fine. But once you add swagger edit over url, so it is redirect to over here, right? But here see, swagger ui is perfectly fine, but there is no service and all, right? Why? Because we have to do something else to allow that rest call in our gRPC, right? So what I need to do, go back to here, close that application, go to your service, and here see, it's simply call that service, right? It is just declaration method, but we have to specify that rest api call, right? So how we can do that? I have to add some package for that. So let me just edit this package over here. Yeah, paste over here. Now see, I just added this package. This is nothing but is just Google. I just create a folder Google and this two package, annotations and Proto. Don't worry about that. I'll share that links where I can get. Actually, it is a GitHub link, so you can get it. So you can get these two files and you have to add it in your project. So once you add, then you are good to go to import this package over here. So let me import that. So how we can import? Simply whatever directory. So Google API and annotation prototype, right? So only just you have to import that annotation one. HTTP also will be actually include in this annotation package. So simply you just import, and after that import you have to do something over here. So see, remove that terminations over here, and you have to implement something over here like get, post, delete, everything, right? So look like this. So see, using that options, inside this option you have to use that Google API HTTP and starting that get and whatever your service as a route. So you can just mention over here and that's it. Like that you have to just implement, right? So similar I will implement for that others as well. For example, get by ID. So let me quickly implement this get by ID and see, this is again, let me create this guy and that's it, right? So this is also done. Get by ID, you can just pass that URI, right? URI with this URI parameter. And then for post you have to do something different. You have to use that post one, right? So this is that post. And then body, you have to just specify body as a start, so that all that request body they will expect over here. And then once you post, right? So let me implement for that update hotel. So let me quickly update that update hotel here, right? So also I will use that put, because this is a put call. Use that and then body, right? And then finally for the delete one. So similar things, we have to use the delete http verb as well for here. Remove this guy and add it over here like the delete and then ID, right? So that is done, and then save it and build it. And if it is not getting any error, yeah, we are getting one error. I guess I have missing somewhere some things, right? So let me quickly check. Actually, yeah, we have to miss something. So expectation level over here. So see, there's some error, right? I think I have missing some curly bracket and also. So go to one by one. We are actually okay. See, it is saying first one actually some issue. So if you looking too closely, so see, I just using two bracket, but it is opening one. So I just miss over here and remove that, save it. Just try to use, see, this two open bracket, so two close bracket, main bracket, actually main service one should be closed in this last, right? So like this actually you have to just follow this one. And let me build it again. Now see, build succeed, and quickly run it. And yeah, it is running. Now go back to here, let me refresh. Now I am able to see all that endpoint allow to HTTP, right? So let me quickly get it how it's looking like. So yeah, now I'm good to get that response as well, right? And also if I trying to create a new hotel, let me create a new hotel, for example, OUO, right? This is a one of the hotel name, right? So let me quickly OUO, and then it is UK, and then create this hotel. So yeah, it is got created, right? And also it is ID 7, so I can just verify it is 7 or not. So let me quickly execute. I'm getting that 7, that is fine. UK, U hotel, UK. And if I want to update something, for example, it is 7, let me add a 7, name would be OYO to something change, right? So OYO new hotel, right? And then address, for example, UK to USA, and then update, it is succeed, right? And let me check again, same ID, yeah, it is updated. And also if I want to delete, let me try to delete, execute. Now it's got delete. And if I want to check the get all hotels, it should not be available over here. See, there is a no hotel, that Oyo hotel, right? So like that, we can implement rest of things. Now we have to implement the hotel. Now we have to implement no room, and also that no room booking and room availability, right? So quickly just implement and also close that application. Go to here. Now we have to similar things, we have to just create it other service. For example, we have to create that other two service. So let me quickly create that two service. So one is that room. So create that room service, add that room, create a proto file, looking for proto template, and create that room. And similar, I just have to create that no, booking as well, right? So quickly let's create a booking so that we will implement all together, and then finally we will test. So let me add that booking, create a new item. Let me create a booking over here, booking, right? So once you add, so remove this guy, and also go to that room, also remove that guy, right? Save it, make it that package. Like for example, my package name is it is a room, right? So let me create a room package, and then we are good to start our room services, right? So let me start that implementation of room service. So simply I'll just create that service roomer over here and start that all service. And here I'll just create this service, right? And then I have to just create a create room, and similar I have to just create for that room availability, because two service actually we have to create it over here. One is just create a new room, and whatever room just created, what it is available or not, that we can actually check it with this service, right? So similar also we have to do, like let make it that endpoint as a rest endpoint. So similar things we have to do that using that rest endpoint. So use that guy. So using that option, using that rumor, body is the expected body, and then also we have to add this guy, right? So let me quickly add this guy. So yeah, like that. Okay, so let me bring back so that you can easily see over here. Okay, so now see, just adding that room and then passing the name, and we have to just create that request and response, right? So quickly let me create a request and response. So create a room section. Inside that we have to create a request, and before that create a request, actually we have to record that DTO, right? Common DTO. So let me quickly create a common DTO of room DTO. So create a common DTO, and this is that room DTO which have that ID, hotel and capacity, right? And save it, and then we can create our request over here, and using that create room, right? So let me create it over here, create a request using that room DTO, and create a variable and set it a 1, right? And then also we have to use that response. So create a response. So this is a response. We are expecting a room ID, whatever room ID, then common, that three things, right? That room ID, success, message, and all. And for this actually Google protocol and string and all, we have to import that two package, right? So let me adding that, not two package, we have to import that three package. One is that empty, that Google protocol and all, and then other ones is that this guy, right? So that three package we have to require. Let me quickly import that package over here, which we have already used, that protoform wrapper and that animation, right? Google animation. So that is done. Now we have to just create another response and request for this guy, right? Get room availability check. So what would be that request? So request would be over here, simply I just pass as a name. So let me quickly pass as a name over here, as a here, and then create a get section of that. here, yeah, get room availability, and this is a request, and this would be a response. So before create a response, actually we have to return that room availability, a list of room availability. So for that I have to just create as a DTO. So again I have to just create another command DTO over here, this room availability, which will return all this ID, hotel ID, capacity, price, hotel name, and is room, and list left days is pending, right? So same things I have to use as a repeat over here, means as a list in this uh, common means in this get room availability response, right? So see, I just using this room availability DTO, which is a list of that will be written, then success message and all, that's it, right? And build it, this is fine. And as we have follow, if I create a new service, right, if you new proto service we have to create it, so we have to just adding in our project file, right? So go to here and create that project file as well, create that, and then using that file. So what is my file name, a proto file name? It is a room, and save it. So once I save it, now see it is complaining I missed something, right? So go to that section, it is again complaining I missed some bracket. So let me quickly check, it is 2, it is 2, fine. It is yeah, I just miss over here, right? So let me add that guy, save it, build it. Now we are good to go. Yeah, so now we have to create that proto service and all. Now we have to implementation, right? So go to then again service, you have to just create a new service name, which is a room service, right? So quickly create that service name as a room service over here, edit, and similar things we have to do that. First let me inherit that hotel rumor, right? So rumor, yeah, this rumor dot room base, and once you get it, you will get all that method overload method over here, override, you will get that create room, as well as you will get override yeah, get availability, yeah. So that is fine. So once you just override this method, we have to implement. So how we can implement? Again using that constructor, inject that mediator r, so using that sender, and create that sender, inherit that as a private variable in the field and assignation, and then we are good to go to start to implementation, right? So quickly remove this guy, yeah. So create response, right? First let me create a response, create an instance of response, and then we have to call that command, right? Create command. So using that sender, mediator r, call that create command, and we have to just convert it to DTO application, gRPC DTO to application DTO, using this normal conversion, right? So let me quickly convert it to over here, create room, and just convert simple conversion over here. Also we have to convert to that service getting that double, but we have to record decimal, so we have to convert also decimal over here. And then finally whatever response we are getting, we just simply add that room ID, whatever new room ID I get it, I just add it. And then rest of things we will keep it common, right? That message, success message, and also validation setter, and then finally return response. So this is done for create room, right? And now moving forward to implementation of get room availability, right? So let me create instance of that response over here as well. So this is that response, and then here what I need to do, again just call that that guy, that mediator r, right? And call that get rooms availability queries method. And here let me quickly change to await, so that it's make it async. And then we have to just conversion, right? We have to do some conversion. So how we can do that conversion is, again we have to just conversion like that, whatever response we are getting, select query using that gRPC DTO, and just convert it over here and make it to array list. And then finally we have to add as a range list whatever our gRPC DTOs, we just add it over here. And finally, rest of the common things, right? Whatever success message, whatever the message, whatever the validations error, we have to assign in this response, and then simply return to that response. That's it, right? So once it's done, let me build it and run it. So it is running fine, right? So once it's running, let me go to that browser and refresh. Now I should able to, yeah, now see again, I have not seen that now room features, right? Why? Because again I just missed to add that new service. So whatever service actually we have to create it, that we have to map in our program.cs file as like this, right? So this is a middleware, so we have to map. So map uh gRPC service. And what is my gRPC service? My gRPC service name is, new one is like room service. That's it. Run it and go to that here, refresh. Yeah, now I'm good to go and check it, our service. Now it is available. So once what I will do, simply I just check it like whatever that hotel we have just created last time, right? So that room is available or not, we can check it. Like for example, hotel, and then execute. And now see, I'm just getting all that hotels. When this is hotel one, they have the room. Hotel one is another room, and then hotel two is another room, right? So this is room available or not, right? So everything is saying like, okay, Paradise Hotel, it is not available, right? It is not available, because if it is true, that means it is not available, right? So what I will do, simply I just create a new room for that particular hotel. For example, let me create a new hotel first, or let me use that existing hotel. So what is that existing hotel? If you go back here, that hotel ID, yeah, that hotel ID is 6 Paradise Hotel, right? So in this Paradise Hotel, I'll just create a new room for this Paradise Hotel. So hotel ID is 6, right? And then capacity in this here, for example, 5, and that me price for 500, right? And then when we execute, now I'm get this room, new room has been created, this Paradise Hotel. And how we can check it, execute this hotel, or just make it to call this Paradise, so only Paradise Hotel will be appearing over here. Get it over here, execute, and see, only Paradise Hotel is appearing over here. Is two room over here in this Paradise Hotel. One is room number 6, one is room number 7, as well as see, one is room is not available and next 4 days, but one is room is available, right? So this room is available, that means room 7 is available for this hotel. So let me try to book, right? So now book facility is not over here, so let me quickly implement that book facility as well, right? So that would be a complete session, right? So quickly go to the application, stop that application. I already just created that proto file of that booking, right? So let me quickly implementation over here for booking perspective. So first we have to just create a package, right? So let me create a package, for example, booking, and then it that, and then import that all package, which is the necessary package. So all that package, these 3 packages necessary, right? So we can use it. And then we have to just create that service. So what the service name, it is service that booking, and then we can just start to our implementation. And here I will just implement one service over here. So that is called create booking. It is just getting that request and that response, right? So let me quickly first just create a request and response. So in here again, we have to create and one common DTO, which will return over here, right? So this is the DTO, booking DTO, which that expecting a ID, room, checking and checkout, and total date, total number of that days, right? So that we have to just create it, and then we can expect as a request. So that request will be booking, right? This booking DTO, And then actually we trying to create a booking, right? So that request as a would be a booking. So based on the room ID and time, checking time in, time out, so we can use it, right? And then we will use as a response. So what would be the response is simply whatever new booking has been created, that booking ID will be written as a booking ID. And then that rest of three things is a common, right? Success, message and all. So that is done. And last things we have to just convert into our REST API, right? So that we have to do. Again, we can use as a like that, using that lambda expression, using that Google API.http, using that post and using that body, right? So that is done. Now we have to implement this is our service. But before that, what I need to do, go to that service, project file. We have to just, include over here so that our compilation can got generated. So let me quickly just change it over here to room to booking and save it, and then create a service. So create a new service, a booking service. So create a new class and make it to booking service and hit enter. Now we are first we have to just inherit what is that booking. So booking dot booking base, right? And then simply we have to just, have to inject our mediator R. So create a constructor, use that I sender, use that sender and inherit that and set it that over here, right? And once it's done, now we have to override for that create booking, right? Now we are good to go to start to implementation. So here again, simply what I need to do, create a response. Whatever response we have to return type over here, we have to return. And then we have to just call our, create command. So call that create command using that isender, make it to async. And here again we have to just conversion over here. So let me create a conversion, that gRPC to, gRPC to our application DTO. And then once it's done, now we are good to set that our response. So my response ID would be our whatever booking ID, we'll set it to our response booking ID. And rest of three things actually which is just common, which will set it over here, like success, message and that validations. And then finally we can return our response. That's it, right? So this is also done. Now don't forget to, add this newly service in our, mediator, that pipeline, right? So add it over here, middleware pipeline, map gRPC service, and what is that? It is as booking service, right? Add that guy. That's it. Now build it. See, is there any issue? No, there is no issue. And run it and quickly refresh. So once you refresh, now I am able to get that booking service as well over here. Now we are good to go to send this request. But this request I will show you in our postman, right? So go back to here, and once you get over here and just refresh, now see that reflection also will show that all that feature. For example, this is hotel has this features, room has a this, method, and booking has a this method, right? So what I will do, I will choose this guy, right? And in this guy, what is that response, request? That request I will copy from that existing we have already, right? So we'll copy this guy, go back to here and then paste it over here, right? And this is that request, right? So create booking ID, room ID, which room ID you want to booking, checking time, checking out time and total pay, right? So checking in, checking out time, we will get, this is a timestamp, right? So you can't directly add it, but yeah, you have to convert it to timestamp and then you can pass it to over here, right? So what room you want to try to book, so go back over here. I'll show you like which one I want to book, right? So let me create a new hotel. For example, let me create a new hotel over here. Let me Oyo Hotel, right? So Oyo Hotel, and address would be USA, and execute. So hotel has been created, hotel ID is 8, right? And also just create a new room for this hotel. So go to here, hotel ID is 8, right? And capacity for this room is 5 or 6, and rupees of that, it's 600, right? Execute. Once you execute, you will able to see over here Oyo Hotel, right? So looking for Oyo Hotel, execute, and see, it is now room is not available, right? Because the room is available is false, that means it's not available. So this room actually I want to book, right? So room ID is 8, so we have to book that room ID from that postman. So let me quickly just change, room ID is 8, right? And then checking time. So how we can get the check-in time? So go to that, whatever, that timestamp site. So I will use this guy timestamp for that here, ep, so conversion. So here, for example, it is a current date is our 2022, so let me add is 2022 and get it over here. So this is that current. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, so current day is 2022. Let me click over here, you will get the timestamp. So copy this timestamp, go to here and add it to here. So now next 2 day I want to book, or next 5 days I want to book, right? What I will do, I will just increase that time day over here 22 to 27, and then hit enter, or just click over here, you get that timestamp. Go back to here in a postman, changes to timestamp, right? And then total pay is 600, and then try to inbox. So once you inbox, you will get, see, you will get that okay. And also return type is this booking ID 6, return is success, that means it's booked. And if you go back to here, just execute one more time, you will get, see, now previously it was not available, it was available, but it is now it's not available with next 5 days, right? With this whatever price and all. So like that, actually you can just implement your existing clean architecture skeleton in your gRPC. So these all features you can just quickly implement uh, in here in a gRPC with clean architecture. So that's all for this session, and have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share for more motivation.